Hello, Internet. Welcome back to Horizon Forbidden West. This is episode 61, and I am Coop52. So, last time we went to the Cauldron Gemini, just to kind of catch up on the story this far. So, after we collected all three of the sub-functions that we could get for Gaia, along with the Omega clearance, the plan was to go catch Hephaestus in this Cauldron Gemini and have the rest of the team go kind of set up diversions so that the Zenith people wouldn't find out what we were doing, and that kind of backfired. So the Zenith folks attacked Gemini, Varl died, and then Beta, Gaia, and I guess Hephaestus, who just was in the middle of merging with Gaia, got taken by the Zeniths, but Tilda betrayed them, and now we are at a strange location, and Tilda is making us breakfast. So let's go see what she wants. Oh hey, art gallery.
Just a few favorites from my collection. Rescued and stored here just before I went off-world. Take a look, if you like. I'm curious to hear your impressions.
My friend is dead. Beta and Gaia are gone, and you want me to look at old paintings?
Don't be so quick to dismiss the comfort we can find in art, or the insight we might gain.
Alright, we're gonna examine the art. Alright, I don't think we can examine the statues. Alright, we got a couple
My
paintings.
favorite pairing on the left
nice.
is Woman Reading a Letter by Vermeer, a true master. And on the right is a forgery, Woman Reading Music, which fooled experts into believing it was a priceless original. Early in my career, I became fascinated with such deceptions. Eventually, I developed scanning software that could detect fakes with unparalleled accuracy.
Is that how you made enough money to buy your way onto the Odyssey?
Oh no. I made my real fortune later.
There's a machine site above us. You can hear. It's probably the wide maws. Anyway, there's another painting.
Selene and Endymion. She's the goddess of the moon, whereas he's a simple shepherd. Beside her is the god of love, Cupid.
So she's sneaking up on him?
More like visiting him in secret. The torch that Cupid bears represents Selene's undying infatuation with him. Though the two must remain apart, her love will forever burn.
That wide maw's really distracting. Oh shit. So here we are. Okay. I'm just like, what the hell is that thing fighting?
This is Rembrandt painting Jeremiah, a man in mourning.
Mourning what?
His home. The ancient city of Jerusalem.
I'm gonna get a little closer.
He foresaw its impending doom, but could do nothing to prevent it. So instead, he saved its treasures from destruction, just as I saved these works. You could say we're kindred spirits.
Alright, we looked at that one. Are there any on the backs? No. Let's take this one next.
A portrait of the painter, Rembrandt's son Titus, depicted in the habit of a monk.
I don't get it. Why would someone like you, with infinite resources, care about this painting of a boy in a hood?
It's not the image itself, but the feeling it conveys. The face is bright and defined, but his eyes are downcast, heavy with misfortune. And the background seems to swallow all light. The painting is infused with a sense of loss.
I guess I understand how the painter feels.
Yeah. I guess she doesn't quite get it that, like, they have, I guess, assuming painting and sculpture and whatnot, but not to, like, this degree yet. Humanity's only been going a few centuries since it got kind of restarted. Anyway, last one.
Rembrandt's The Night Watch, by far the most famous painting my homeland ever produced. It was commissioned to honor a militia made up of influential citizens.
I guess you must have been an influential citizen.
In my day. But not as influential as you've been in this new world.
Oops, there is one more. Let's examine it.
The Gust, by Willem van de Velde, the most famous of his many maritime paintings.
A ship crossing into the unknown. I guess you're familiar with that.
Indeed, which is why I appreciate this composition in particular. Though waves and wind threaten to destroy the ship, it perseveres, clinging to the light even as darkness closes in all around it.
Okay, so this is kind of an intro to Tilda, just looking at the paintings she has, and it kind of reveals what kind of person she is. I mean, first of all, she's rich enough and cares about art enough to bother building this art bunker. And she's selected a few pieces. So here we have one that was real and one that was a fake. One with kind of a creepy stalker-ish. Like somebody who loves somebody that they can't be with. I say stalker because it looks like stalker to me. Someone that is taking artwork from their city that is going to be destroyed and that only has a few keepsakes left. The kid in the hood being swallowed by darkness with the but looking downcast. A bunch of influential citizens and the ship persevering. So yeah, this says kind of a bit about Tilda, and we'll get to know a little bit more in a moment. So we've got... Oh, here we go.
Weight on his shoulders.
I guess the auto is a little out of sync. So we got Atlas over here. He's missing the little globe thingy.
Stunning, isn't it? Paintings were the only masterpieces of my people's golden age. This is Van Vianen's Lidded Ewer, molded from a single sheet of silver.
What was it for?
How like Elizabeth you are. Function over form. Its practical purpose was less important than its meaning. Van Vianen created it in honor of his late brother, who himself was a famous silversmith.
A memorial?
Yes. Such beauty from sorrow.
What else we got going on over here?
She's pulling out her own hair. Out of madness? Out of grief? It's hard to watch her suffer.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
Done so soon?
I've got more important things to worry about.
We both do. There is much we are trying to save.
There's
Not the least of which is in that vault. There's nothing wrong with savoring such treasures for a moment more. Or come upstairs and we'll get down to business. Your choice.
So there's a couple more art pieces it looks like in here. This one looks like a keyring, maybe? And... I can't tell, it looks like flames of some sort. And... something else in the background. Like these are more... like the art and stuff, they're more kind of generic than the pieces down there, which are meant to kind of give us players a hint about what Tilda is like. Anyway, let's get out the bunker. It's kind of creepy that Aloy got put in the art collection, essentially.
There you are. Feeling better?
How did you find us? At the cauldron? And what did you do to everyone right before I passed out?
All business, I see. Well, suffice it to say we were keeping a very close eye on Hephaestus, knowing we would need it at some point. Your ruse didn't fool us, and as for my little trick, it was an overload of the senses, accompanied by an energy discharge. Gerard and Eric were only momentarily disoriented due to their shields, but it rendered you unconscious while I got you out. Perhaps some breakfast might steady you a bit?
This was your house. The one you recreated for Beta, in the data channel you shared.
How perceptive of you. Please, this way.
After everything your people have done, you think I'm just gonna sit down and have a chat with you?
They're
That's
not
a fair
my people.
question.
They never were, and especially not now.
You shot off into space with them, and lived with them for 1,000 years before coming back. So what made you suddenly turn on them?
Quite simply, this.
My old focus. You repaired it? But that means you've seen.
Incredible things. What you've accomplished in 2 decades of life. A 1,000 years at my back and I haven't even come close. I'm sorry if I invaded your privacy, but I had to. In order to understand. To be enlightened. You truly are Elizabeth's blood. With her drive, her sense of mission, her integrity. Watching all this shamed me for the company that I've kept. Having seen it, all I want is to help you.
Even if it means stopping your friends?
Especially so. Please, sit down. There. That's better. Now, we must recover Beta and Gaia at all costs. By now, you must know that Gerard intends to use Gaia to reboot the Earth's biosphere. Remaking this world to specifications that would only suit us immortals. This process will kill every living thing on the planet. He calls it a clean install.
Not if I stop him first.
Not if we do. And once he and the others are gone, we can work together to fulfill Elizabeth's dream. I'm sure Beta told you that there's a build of the Apollo database on board our ship. A complete collection of human knowledge. With that and Gaia, we could do everything Elizabeth wanted. Heal the biosphere, educate the people of this world, uplift them. Create the world she imagined.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. From what I've seen, your friends are invincible.
I do wish you would stop calling them my friends. And they're not invincible. In fact, a friend of yours has found a way to defeat them.
Silence.
Silence is also in
He's
that
been
kind
busy
of sort of
building an
friend
army
category.
powerful enough to crash through Gerard's precious base.
Yeah. Regala and her rebels.
Even now, she's preparing a final march on the Tenakth capital. When she wins, she'll have the entire tribe under her control. Hundreds of warriors and machines to throw at the base. She's been duped. They'll all perish, of course. But it should be enough to break Gerard's defenses and allow Silence to kill him. Along with all the others.
Using the new weapon he's developed.
Yes, he's found a way to circumvent our shields. Truly an exceptional man. He's planned for everything. Except you and me. You see, while his army is battering down Gerard's doors, you and I will sneak in through a back way. One that only I know about. While Silence and my friends are busy battling each other, we'll take back Beta and Gaia. I told you I want to help you. I mean it.
Okay, I'm gonna just take a second. So, I was trying to say before we went in the cutscene, I think it's kind of weird that Aloy woke up in the art collection vault room instead of in, like, on a couch or something in just the main part of the house. Like, she has enough intact furniture to have, like, the sheets and a couple of chairs. Theoretically, she should have, like, a couch or a bed or something. That's sort of creepy to me, and it kind of leads into some of this stuff that we're going to find out about. Anyway, let's ask her some questions.
My old focus. How did you find it, let alone repair it?
When we encountered you at the Hades Proving Lab, Gerard saw you as a redundancy. I knew better. You were a revelation. After your dramatic escape, bravo, by the way. Gerard and Eric assumed you were dead and gave up the hunt. I wasn't so sure. When the others were busy, I returned to the lab and searched for any trace of you. That's when I found this little treasure. Not easy to repair, but certainly worth the effort. As I watched your life unfold, you were like a splash of color on a worn canvas. What Liz was, and more.
Did you show it to the others?
Of course not. It was your actions that inspired me to defy them. It's worth noting that if I hadn't found it and watched its contents, I wouldn't have known to save you at the cauldron. You'd be dead.
So I should be grateful?
If you like.
Okay, also, another thing. I think that's an avocado in the bowl with the banana. Like, who keeps avocado as, like, a fruit bowl? Fruit. And also the whole symbolism of kind of a devil-ish character giving a character an apple. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
So you know all about me. What about you?
What would you like to know?
Well, start with your life on Earth.
When I was 8, terrorists flooded my home city. Thousands drowned, my parents included. I was one of the few who survived. My guardian sent me to boarding school. Among my peers, I was the strange girl, the orphan to be avoided. All because of circumstances beyond my control.
Oh. So we're a lot alike, huh?
Aren't we? You were an outcast. But you didn't let that stop you from getting what you needed. Neither did I. I climbed my way out of desolation and used my wits to build a fortune. First, from the technical analysis of art and the detection of forgeries. Profitable expertise in those days. But as it turned out, the software I developed was even more useful for counterintelligence. From there, it was only a short step to gathering extremely valuable intelligence on my own.
You were a spy?
More like a service one could turn to for information. I had to remain anonymous, of course, to protect my privacy. But despite that anonymity, Far Zenith inevitably sought me out.
What happened when Far Zenith approached you?
They painted an irresistible vision of humanity's future. One where we need not fear illness or death, where we explored the furthest reaches of the stars and thrived. It was only later that I realized that they only intended to bequeath this future to the rich and powerful. By the time I finally figured it out, the walls were closing in, Pharaoh's machines were devouring the Earth. So I accepted Far Zenith's invitation to a birth on the Odyssey. I wanted Liz to come, but she had nobler plans, as you well know.
So you didn't know the other Zeniths were monsters until it was too late?
I knew some of them were, certainly. It wasn't until we were off-planet that I understood the true scope of their greed. I was grateful to simply be alive, but the others became obsessed with a kind of effortless immortality. They built a colony where machines serviced their every need, where any memory or fantasy could be endlessly savored in virtual reality. It wasn't life. It was stultifying, a pampered dream state. As the decades passed, I withdrew more and more, alone yet again, but this time with eons to consider my mistakes. Now finally, having met you, I feel like I have a second chance.
To do what?
Help you, of course. To fulfill Liz's dream, which isn't so different from Far Zenith's original vision. A better future for humanity.
You said Beta is not in urgent danger, so what are the Zeniths doing to her?
Putting her to work. Merging Hephaestus with Gaia. A difficult, time-consuming task, as I'm sure you know. They will compel her if need be, but her life is not in danger. She's the only one who can do it.
Because you people made her to be nothing but a tool.
Gerard's idea, not mine. They always viewed me with suspicion when I attempted any form of kindness towards her. That's why I created the data channel. A virtual place where we could speak in peace.
So this channel you shared with Beta, none of the other Zeniths ever found out about it.
Gerard believes he's the most cunning of all of us. Even after 1,000 years, he still can't imagine that I would outwit him. The channel allowed me to interact with Beta away from their mistrustful eyes. It offered us a chance to be ourselves.
Until you cut off all contact.
Yes, though it pained me. I was worried that our meetings would do her more harm than good.
Well, she felt like you tossed her aside.
I was afraid the others would find out and punish her. She may not have had the comforts of friendship anymore, but at least I ensured she was safe. I know it seems harsh, but you must believe that her well-being has always been paramount to me.
I don't know. It's like, I don't know, a little creepy groomery, especially with the way that she seems just a little tiny bit obsessed with Elizabeth. Just a little bit.
Why did you make the data channel look like this place?
I built this house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place. Not just for me, but for the art stored below. Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her. I'm sorry I had to cut off contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
Beta told me your colony was destroyed. That you came back to Earth because you had nowhere else to go.
It's true. After we reached our destination, a planet in the Sirius star system, we spent decades building a new home. The physical constraints of Earth, the boundaries of mortality, gone. To think of what we could have done with it. It might have been a utopia. Instead, we stagnated, absorbed in effortless comforts and virtual realities. It took a cataclysm to finally yank us out of our stupor.
What happened?
A massive geological event. We knew of instabilities in the planet core, but we underestimated them. By the time the collapse was upon us, it was too late to stop it. Only a few of us made it to the ship in time. We set course for Earth, the only safe harbor left to us.
Which you decided to make unsafe for anyone else.
Not me. Gerard. He believes it's better to wipe the canvas clean than work around the smudges. No more primitive tribes, no more combat machines, only a blank slate to do with as he pleases. But we will stop him. All we have to do is get into that base.
What exactly is your plan to sneak into the Zenith base?
We will make use of a lesson I learned from an early age. Always know your exits. In this case, a place where Gerard's new construction meets the ancient foundation, a passage that only I can access. When Silence
How do you know that?
flings his army at the base, we will enter through this back door, bypassing most of the fighting. The distraction will provide us with a window in which to rescue Beta and Gaia.
Like, how do you know that? How do you know, first of all, you're the only one that knows about that? And then, I don't know. It just seems kind of like convenient.
Once we're inside the base, where will we find Beta and Gaia?
Here in the command center. By then, Gaia will have been reunited with all of its subordinate functions, including Hephaestus.
What about the alpha build of Apollo on your ship?
A simple matter of recovery once the others have been dealt with. With that in hand, we'll have everything we need to make this world as it should be.
How do you know about Silence's plan?
He isn't the only one adept at spyware.
You hacked his focus?
No, he's too careful for that. But his subordinates? Not so much.
Oh.
He gave additional focuses to the tribals he branded the Sons of Prometheus.
The ones working with Regala.
By tapping their focuses, I learned about most of his dealings. The distribution of override technology, the arming of Tanakh rebels, and the secret pact with Regala to attack Gerard's base.
But how did he come up with a weapon that can take down your shields?
That's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, but however he did it, I'm quite certain it will work. With it and the Tanakh army, victory seems to be within his grasp. Such a shame he'll be disappointed.
Regala's only interested in killing Hekarro and waging war on the Karja. What does she have to gain by attacking Zeniths?
It's the price she must pay for her war. Without the ability to override machines, her little rebellion would have languished in the desert.
So she trades with the Sons of Prometheus. Machines to help her overthrow Hekarro.
In exchange for an assault on the base. Pride has deluded her into thinking she can actually survive such a battle. And all without ever knowing who the Sons of Prometheus really answer to. Yet for all of Silence's brilliance, still he underestimates you. That blind spot is what will allow us to take Beta and Gaia right out from under him.
While hundreds of Tenakth are cut down outside.
Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that Tilda may care slightly more about the tribal peoples and that she doesn't want to completely exterminate them like the other Zeniths, but she doesn't necessarily care about them in the way that Aloy and the others do. Anyway, let's ask the big question. What's going on with this whole Elizabeth thing?
So you knew Elizabeth. What was she like?
Liz was everything she was. I see in you. And more. Your ingenuity, your determination, your moral compass. You've managed to distill her greatest qualities and make them your own.
I'm not asking about me. Tell me about Elizabeth. What was she really like?
The honest answer is that I don't actually know. For all the time that I spent with her, she always kept a part of herself locked away. It was like that from the moment we met.
Yeah, she doesn't quite get it. Aloy's not really a flattery type person. Like, other people try to flatter her, it'll be like, oh, and she doesn't really care. Anyway, how'd y'all meet?
So when you met Elizabeth, she was what? Distant? Aloof?
Not aloof. Not exactly. It was a summit in Paris about machine learning. A touchy subject in those days. Because regulatory authorities were just starting to clamp down on AIs. Liz gave the keynote address. She had already achieved great renown for her work in automated environmental reclamation. But in her address, she was just starting to imagine the next step. An AI-driven system that wouldn't just act on its programming, but actually take responsibility for its sphere of influence.
To care about life. Not just follow orders.
Revolutionary stuff. I was fascinated. And I wanted to meet her for a long time. I watched her after her talk. She had spoken with such moral authority, such empathy. But after that, she retreated. I could tell she felt uncomfortable with all of her admirers. It was as if giving the talk had cost her something. I didn't want to be a pest, so I planned my approach carefully.
Yeah, the whole, being uncomfortable with all the attention thing sounds pretty familiar.
So how did you finally approach Elizabeth after her talk?
I picked the right moment. The morning of the next day, right as she came back to the conference, she had just had her coffee. She was fresh, rested. It was like she had braced herself for the onslaught of colleagues. I asked if I could walk with her, then put forth a question about her talk that I thought was intelligent. Her answer made me realize it wasn't, but she was very welcoming. Almost as if we were previously acquainted. It was only halfway through the conversation that I realized she knew exactly who I was. It was quite a shock to me. My business was trafficking in secrets, and I took great pains to protect my anonymity. So that was Liz, perpetually one step ahead. I came to view our meeting as a metaphor for our friendship. She always seemed to know me far better than I knew her.
I guess I know the feeling.
Yeah, we knew about Tilda like kind of a way long time ago there, with the data point. I forget if it was at the tutorial facility or the Hades lab, where we have the voiceover where you hear her and Tilda talking about the birthing chambers. Yeah. So we only got this one option left.
First Varl. Now Hekarro and the Tenakth. Your plan would wipe out an entire tribe. There has to be another way.
We are in an admittedly desperate situation, but I assure you there isn't. Remember Zero Dawn. Elizabeth's sacrifice. Sometimes many have to die for a new world to grow.
If it looks impossible, look deeper. Wait. The data channel. It still exists, doesn't it? I need you to open it. Let me talk to Beta.
Impossible. We might be detected.
It's worth the risk. There is another way, one where the Tenakth survive.
But we won't. If the others...
If you want to help, open it.
Hey, it's Beta.
What are they doing to her?
Virtual reality dissociation. The manual merge of Hephaestus will take hours upon hours of tedious micromanagement. If she resists the work, they run simulations to induce feelings of isolation and despair.
Beta, can you hear me? You're alive. They're watching me. I can't hold up this extra protection for long.
Oh, there's two Betas. Yeah, she
No.
could have done that now that she's
I'm coming for
seeing
you.
you different.
I promise. Okay. I just need you to hold out a little while longer and work on the merge. Then I think it can be done.
Guess they're leaving
I'll
you
contact
out of
again when
this.
it's time.
Creepy
Can you
hollow
hold on?
lady.
As long as I know you're coming for me, I can endure anything.
All right. I did as you asked. Now I think you need to tell me what you're planning.
I'm going to take Sylens' army away. I don't need it. Only the weapon he made to penetrate your shields.
And how do you propose to get it? Ask him nicely?
Well, yeah, kind of.
With Regala and her rebels, he won't have a choice. We'll be his only option.
Only option for what? What did you tell her?
That is between me and my sister.
Aww, that's the first
Will
time
be
she's
Sylens'
called
only
Beta
option for crashing
sister.
that base. I'll tell you the rest later. But first, there are a couple of things I have to do.
Oh. And what are those?
Lay my friend to rest. And then I'm going to use the override that Beta gave me at Gemini to put an end to Regala's rebellion. From the air.
Wait. Since you insist on doing things your way, I know of something that will truly help you make a grand entrance with the Tenakth. The ancient Horus Titans still possess electromagnetic energy cells as part of their arsenal. Drop one of those on Regala's army and they'll receive quite a surprise.
Oh hey, she actually told us some useful information.
So go, do what you must.
That doesn't have any creepy
I'll
overtones.
come to your base if you manage to bring Sylens to the table.
Not if. When.
Okay, so I also
Erend,
think
are you there?
I'll let them talk.
Aloy! Aloy, that really you?
Yeah, it's me. Where's everyone else?
We're all... we're back at base. What happened?
It might be easier to explain in person. I'll try to join you there when I can.
Okay. We'll wait here for you. It's good to hear your voice, Aloy.
Okay. As I was saying, I was like, it's also important to note Aloy's body language throughout that whole thing. She was quite uncomfortable with all of her. Hey, there's the data point. Is there anything else? Oh, there's her car. Or was her car. Yeah, Tilda gives off a creepy, like, why are you so obsessed with me kind of vibe. Just a little bit.
Just
Like-
to let you know, I'm now patched into your focus network.
Oh, hi.
Right. I take it
See,
the
look,
others
there's a
units
bed right
can't
there.
hear us?
Of course not. And they don't know about your base either, in case you were wondering. I've sent you data on the Horus energy cells you can use against Regala's forces. Reach out to me when you're ready to acquire one.
Understood.
Okay, so let's read about the Horus energy cells.
I'll put these in my pack.
Anyway, there's a campfire just ahead. I don't know. Like, Tilda says she's on our side, but... Oh. Like I said, I don't know. I think she genuinely is, like, against the Zeniths, but I think she's also somewhat creepy. Well, it says unknown. We can always come back here. Anyways... Let's fast travel to the base. Oh, so, dude, Aloy was right. Like, that was not the time to have breakfast and chat. She was definitely not in the mood.
When you're wounded, you have to strike back. Draw blood.
Hey! Can't I get one damn minute to mourn my friend?
Regala is going to slaughter my tribe to overthrow Hikaru. The Zeniths have Beta and Gaia. We can't sit around wallowing in our losses.
Kotallo's right. We must fight.
Oh, all right. So what are we gonna do, huh? Take on all of Regala's rebels?
Not to mention the Zeniths. What can we even do? Throw ourselves at their base?
Something like that. So...
After we lost contact with you, we regrouped and went to Gemini. What happened? The recording we found on Varl's focus cut off when that Zenith Eric...
The Zeniths were tracking Hephaestus. When Gaia trapped it in Gemini, they knew where we were. After Varl tried to stop them. They took Beta and Gaia. I only survived because one of the Zeniths turned against the others to save me.
One of them? Well... At least we didn't lose you too. So what do we do now?
We're going to defeat the Zeniths. And get Beta and Gaia back. But first... We're going to stop Regalla.
How?
Back in Gemini, Beta gave me a gift. There's something I need to do first to make it work, but it could put an end to the bloodshed.
Word is, Regalla's readying her army for an all-out assault on the Grove. I need to be there.
I know. Go. Stand with Hekarro. And keep an eye on the sky.
Strike true as the 10.
The rest of you, whatever preparations you need to make, upgrades, resupplies, get on it. It won't be long before we take the fight to the Zeniths.
We'll be ready, Aloy. And when you're ready, meet me outside the east exit. I'd like to have a word in private.
Even when things are darkest, you're the flame that lights the way forward.
Just tell me one thing. Am I gonna get to smash up a bunch of Zenith bastards?
We all are.
Good.
Anyway,
Before I do anything else, I should check on Zoe. It sounded important.
let's check on Aaron too. He and Varl kind of had a cool friendship thing going on.
I thought you were gonna go fight some Tenakth.
I wanted to check in with you first.
Yeah, don't worry about me. I'm just, picking up the pieces like everyone else. I'll be there when you need me.
I never doubted that.
Oh. Good. I'm glad you're back.
So am I. I know you hate waiting, but you'll have to stay back here a little longer.
Well, you go do what you gotta do, but are you okay? It's not just Varl we lost. Beta's gone. I almost lost it when I realized my sister had been taken by Dervahl back in the Sundom.
I'm getting her back. That's all that matters.
Understood.
Do you think Zoe will be okay?
I don't think anyone's ever okay after losing the one they love. I can't tell you she's handling it better than I ever did. That keeps the rest of us level-headed.
What's wrong with your shoulder?
Yeah, it hurts a little. Yeah, maybe a lot.
What'd you do?
Well, I tried to arm wrestle with Kotallo.
Yeah, maybe that wasn't such a great idea.
I was just curious to see if that new arm of his was as strong as it looked. Turns out it really is.
Alright, so a little
need to
bit of
get
levity
going.
there.
You better get there before Kotallo tries to take on Regalla's entire army by himself.
You probably could.
Do me a favor. Don't go disappearing on us again.
I'll do my best.
Let's see. Oh, the other companions have thoughts too. Let's go get their thoughts and then we'll talk to Zoe.
You look busy.
My studies are a good distraction, especially after Cauldron Gemini. Varl, Beta, Gaia, gone. And that's just the beginning. The Zeniths want to rob us of our future too.
We won't let that happen. How are you holding up?
Varl's loss is heavy on everyone's mind. I didn't know him well, but I can see how much he meant to the others. Zoe and Aaron seem to have taken to it the hardest, but I don't quite know what to say to them.
They need time to sort through it.
And what about you? Will time heal your wounds?
I don't know. I try not to think about it. Seems like everyone's ready to take the fight to the enemy.
Kotallo more than most. If I were this Regalla, I wouldn't want to cross him on the battlefield.
Regalla still has a lot of machines on her side.
That's where you come in, I suspect.
If my plan works. So, all of the tribes here are new to you?
Yes, I've been studying up on them. The most fascinating one thus far has been the Tenakth, an entire culture based on the holograms of an ancient museum. There's much they've misinterpreted, not unlike the Quen. But still, there's a nobility to what they've become. They're honorable and fearless.
And deadly. Tilda, the Zenith that Beta mentioned, she was the one who rescued me.
Did she say why?
She knew Elizabeth Sobek. Seems to think helping me is honoring her in some way. She was willing to share information on both Silence's plans and the other Zeniths.
But you still don't trust her. Where I come from, the more valuable the knowledge shared, the higher the price extracted. I'd be careful if I were you, Aloy.
She's got a good point.
I should get going. Be ready to go on my signal, okay?
I won't let you down.
I know. And I haven't forgotten about the data on Leviathan. I'll let you know when I make it back to landfall.
Thank you, Aloy.
Oh, let's stop by our supply cache. Cool! Let's see. That's their room. She's got new crap to say already? Hold on.
Hey, do you have a moment?
Sure.
Sure, why not?
Tilda's the one who rescued me. Same one that spoke to Beta when none of the others would.
Did she say why she saved you?
She knew Elizabeth Sobek. Seems to
I
think
think
helping
we
me
had a
is
bug.
honoring her in some way. She was willing to share information on both Silence's plans and the other Zeniths.
But you still don't.
Alright.
Where I come, the higher the...
Yeah.
I'd
I should get going.
be careful, Aloy.
That was a weird bug. Anywho's. I think... Oops. Yeah, so this is Aloy's room. Yeah, we finally got some new stuff.
All this time I've been so focused on what Elizabeth was like, what she would do. I was wrong to hold Beta to that standard. I probably shouldn't even be doing it to myself. I'll try to do better.
Oh, we had an epiphany there.
So Silen's plan was to trick Regala into sacrificing her tribe in a hopeless battle against the Zeniths. It's so... heartless. Hekarro, Dekka, Kotallo, countless others. I won't let their lives be thrown away.
Let's not stand on the desk. Okay.
It looks impossible. Look deeper. And then fight like you can win. I will, Rost. Now and always.
Okay, cool. Got some closure there. Alright, now let's go find Zoe. I'm just making sure that that one's not like a, okay, we are on the correct side. Sometimes they give you, like, talk to so-and-so as an optional thing you can accidentally skip. But yeah, we want to do this one. So you remember she set up a little garden over here?
Over here, Aloy. We would come out here to tend to the garden. Sometimes I needed fresh air. Other times we would simply sit and watch the sunrise. So when we returned from Gemini, it seemed fitting that he be laid to rest here. Now he can always look out at Plainsong and... further east, to the Nora sacred lands.
He would have liked that.
He often spoke of his sister, Vala. He said she used to gather her favorite golden blooms and tie them to her spear. Their mother called it useless, but Vala was stubborn.
Yeah, she seemed like that.
It wasn't easy. But I tracked down the flower. Gathered its seeds. As verdant limbs wither, roots rot in snow, still the sea rises, as certain as stone. From death follows new life. So it is with the land. And so it is with us. I'm with child, Aloy. I was going to tell him when he got back from Gemini. Instead, one day, I'll bring our child here. We'll sit among the blooms and watch the sunrise.
I never got to tell him. To thank him. For saving my life, sure, but also for not giving up on me.
He always knew.
Goodbye, Varl. I promise to look after them.
Okay, so you remember back in Zero Dawn?
Try to visit again when I can. But for now, I need to go to the fabrication terminal to install the new override on my spear. Then I'll use it on a Sunwing and get ready for an entrance Regalla will never forget.
Anyway, as I was saying, you remember in Zero Dawn where you could go visit Rost's grave? Well, we can do the same out here now. We can sit with Varl. And sometimes it's commentary, and sometimes it's just sitting. This time it's just sitting. Which I think that's nice. That's something nice you can do. It's a good photo op sometimes too. But yeah. I like the little, I guess, funeral whatever sequence. Because it seems like for those of you gotta remember is, was it a grave singer? So that's kind of her function, is funerary rites and stuff like that. And they have kind of a strong belief in like the cycle of nature and death moving forward to life and stuff like that. So.
Before I forget, I watered those plants for you.
Oh?
I just know they meant a lot to you, and, well...
Oh, that's sweet, Erend. Yeah, it feels kind of weird here without Varl.
Think you can manage things here while I go help Hekarro?
Stopping Regalla's war. It'll help us take the fight to the Zeniths?
Yes.
Then I'll make sure the rest of us are ready upon your return.
Okay. We'll be facing Spectre drones soon. Erend and Kotallo have fought them before, so...
Already asked them to run us through some combat drills. Erend moves like an oaf, but he's good with that hammer.
So I said she is ready to go.
I know we both want to make the Zeniths pay for what they've done, but once we infiltrate their base, our priority will be to get Gaia and Beta out of there.
Don't worry. I won't go seeking revenge like some blood-crazed Tenakth. Wherever your arrow strikes, mine will follow.
Let's hope we hit our targets. How's Aaron doing?
For a moment there, he thought he'd lost both you and Varl. But he never truly succumbed to despair. Guess that Oseram's stubbornness comes in handy sometimes.
I need to get going.
Whatever you plan on doing against Regala, you better return to us in one piece.
I'll try.
Okay. And that too, she was like, oh yeah, by the way, we're having a baby, and it's like, okay. I don't think they necessarily were trying for one. It just kind of happened. Anyway, we now can override Sunwings.
Override installed. Now to find a Sunwing. I think there are some roosting at the top of the mountain.
And you would be correct. That's the easiest place to go get some. Alright, now to start climbing.
I need to find a Sunwing to override. Better head up the mountain.
Alright, there's some. Anyway.
Good. There are Sunwings up here. I'll have to approach them quietly.
So this one, sitting right here, is gonna be our best bet. He's just chilling, like a little villain. And he's about to be our friend. And then mount the Sunwing.
This is it! I'm in the air!
Anyway, so we can fly now. So I kind of avoided talking about it, even though that some of the skills you get with Burning Shores spoil the fact that you can fly through a barrel roll.
Head rush. Tilda, I'm in the air.
Then you'll want to pick up an energy cell on one of the ancient Horus Titans. But first you must send out a pulse to activate them. I've sent you the necessary software. To deploy it, you'll have to override one of the communication machines you refer to as Tallnecks. There's one in the middle of the desert that should do nicely.
On it.
So you remember that tall neck that we couldn't do? The one that's right here? Guess what we're doing? So yeah. So being able to fly is very heavily advertised with the Burning Shores DLC. So if you bought the complete edition that has Burning Shores, you were pretty much spoiled on the fact that you will eventually get a flying mount. If you just played the base game of Forbidden West, this I don't remember was being advertised like really at all. I mean, I guess you could theoretically assume that you would eventually override a Sunwing because
there's a Tallneck.
All machines are overrideable for the except for like Apex and stuff, but it wasn't really mentioned that you could ride it.
How to land this thing?
All right, so we just kind of slow, and then go, and then down. Oh, we don't want to do that yet. So you can kind of do a dive, and then land.
Made it. Just gotta override it.
So we're just gonna.
Okay, Tilda. I've overridden the Tallneck.
Good. And the energy cells are now primed. Simply pick one up on a Horus. The nearest one should be northwest of your position. Dropping it on Regala's machine should produce quite a spectacle.
Thanks for the assist.
I told you, I want to help.
Anyway, so your Sun Wing will not attack. That's why you notice that it didn't have the defense or aggressive modes. It just happily flies about in the background. It can't do anything other than touch you about. You can call it like you can with your land mount.
Whoa!
And it,
I'm gonna have to get used to that.
and it just kind of tosses you upon its back. Oh cool, we killed some things. So if you're playing for the first time, that is probably your final, Tallneck. Anyway, I'm gonna try to, we're gonna make for Scalding Spear, I think, because I'm gonna go ahead and go save.
I bet that's the Desert Clan's capital. I can really see the scale of it. The Horus should be northwest of here.
So you can kind of up. You can see all kinds of stuff going on below you. And then some of the towns will have perches for you to land on. And then if you really wanted to, you can make your Sunwing land on the ground. Sometimes they don't like it. Hold on. Oh, that's too close.
Reinforcements maybe. Heading for the Grove. I hope the Commonwealth's knock can hold out a little longer.
Sometimes they land. I was trying to make them land on the ground because they look really silly walking on the ground. Anyway, I'll try that a different day. Anyway, you just dismount it like you normally do. If he will let me dismount. Are you serious? Do I have to do the Wings of the Ten? I want to save. Here, let's head to a campfire. Yes. And no, you can't really fire anything. I'm trying to get off. Alright, it's not going to let me do this. So I guess we will continue with the Wings of the Ten quest until it lets me stop. So yay, flying! Hold on, I'm gonna undo that. And yes, flying from A to B does take less time than doing the land mounts. You do get some graphical pop-in issues. Thought there was some green shine to collect. Here's a Horus.
There's the energy cell. I have to tighten this back.
Oh, there's one. Grab it.
Got the cell. Now on to the Grove. Pulse from the Tallneck should have reactivated all the energy cells in the region. I should be able to pick up more from any Horus I fly to. It'll be useful, even after I deal with Regala.
Yep. So you can pick up Horus cells and use them as EMPs. We're gonna die. See if they'll finally let me off. So I can save.
Hey! Rider!
Woo!
Run!
Okay. They are definitely unhappy. And yes, things with projectile weapons that can see you from up high will start shooting at you. Exhibit A, up ahead. Sorry, Thunderjaw. I got shit to do. Anyway, it looks like we're locked into the story at least a little bit.
Rebels. Regala's throwing everything she's got at the Grove.
Let me undo that save point too. I'm a little peeved because I thought I'd be able to save. And another thing about the energy cells that they don't mention is that they are infinitely respawnable. Like, you can go to a Horus and go pick them up as many times as you want to. They can be pretty useful for taking out stuff like Thunderjaws and Turbitos and big things. Okay, there's the Grove. There's the arena right there.
Here we go.
Regala's inside. Hikaru will soon be dead. It's all over, Chaplain.
I gotta drop it now. Here it goes.
It's Aloy! She flies on the wings of the Ten. The tide has turned! Push through!
End of the line, Hikaru. Now on your knees, and I'll give you the death you didn't have the spine to give me.
They're down! The machines! All of them! They're down!
What? How's that possible?
Regala!
Enough bloodshed! Let's settle this. You and me.
Easy to say when you're atop a machine.
Well, that was just to get your attention. I don't need any help to take you down.
Fine. I accept your challenge. And once I'm done with you, I'll get to finish the slaughter.
We'll see about that.
The duel is set. Let none interfere.
Alright, hold on. Alright, she's weak to fire. Fortunately, I've got some now.
I will do what has to be done!
I'm not prepared for this. Woo! okay, maybe going the melee route wasn't the best idea.
No! Do you have any words now?
Ah, crap! Alright, hold on.
You're not hunting turkeys now.
Okay. I gotta get hit on her. Crap-a-doodle! Okay. Now we're playing sniper. Alright.
So that's how it's gonna be.
We'll get down. Alright. I want my other bow. Delta, delta, delta. I want to set her on fire. And then some strike throughs. Oh, she has a spike throw too. That's not fair. Alright, if we want to play Splody game, give me a minute. Let me put on my Splody stuff.
This is where it ends.
Alright. Hold on 2 seconds.
It is.
Hold on, because I think I still have... No, I got my blast thing. I don't even have a good spike thrower. Huh.
I will carve my story into you. Is this how you give up your life?
Set her on fire again. Oh, she did a smoke bomb thingy. Alright. Alright, if you say so. Where are you? Oh, she's got... Oh, shit balls. Okay. Alright. Where'd she go? She's like super weak to fire. Like she could do some of the same techniques Aloy can. Alright. I was doing better with the bombs. Alright. Make bombs faster. Okay, if you say so.
I'll tear that braided head from your body.
I'll say while I'm fighting her, Angela Bassett did an awesome job with the voice work for her. Shit. Potion. I shouldn't have stood there that long.
Fight until death.
That's the idea.
You should face me. That would show courage.
I'm trying to face you.
This is all you want.
Ah, crap, 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 crap.
If you offered your
That'll keep
blood,
me on my feet.
I'd spit it to the soul.
I've already exploded all your armor off, lady. There.
Here I am again, on my knees before bootlets and cowards. Go ahead, run me through.
Shut your mouth, traitor.
It was you who flew in on the wings of the Ten. You who challenged her. By our rights, you must decide her fate. I spared her once. It only made things worse. She was the best of my marshals. What a waste.
She's dangerous, all right. But maybe that's exactly what I need.
Cowards! What more do you have to conspire about?
Whether you live or die.
Okay, so you do get to pick whether she lives or dies, and if she lives, you get an okay outfit and she goes to the base as a companion. If she dies, you get a really, really cool sharpshot bow. Let's pick this option.
You led a rebellion that tore a tribe apart. All for bloodlust and revenge. Maybe the only thing you deserve is to die right here. Or maybe that fury can be directed at the real enemy.
You want to ally with her? How can you even trust her?
Despite all that she's done, she's never been one to break her word.
And will she give it?
I won't beg for my life. Decide.
Okay, so yes, and this is a but thou must situation. In my last playthrough, I killed her and got the sharpshot bow, and it's a really, really good sharpshot bow. I've never actually seen the scenes where you let her live, so I'm tempted to let her live. The Delta sharpshot bow is a really good equivalent for the one she gives you, and that's pretty sad. Where it's like, oh, here's a life. If you end it, you get a really cool weapon. You know what? I'm gonna see what happens when she lives.
I'm not here to forgive you for your crimes. But there's another battle ahead. Against an enemy more powerful than anything you can imagine. And I need people. A squad. That's willing to do whatever it takes.
I don't want your mercy.
It's not mercy. The battle I'm talking about will be charging into a nightmare.
A better death than this? Yes. My blood is yours. Your enemies are mine.
Meet us at our stronghold, in the mountains near Plainsong.
You mean to send her alone? Without even an armed guard?
She does not need it.
I will be there. You have my word.
I'll hold you to it.
Chief, there's something you both need to see. In the throne room. He surrendered to our guards outside the grove. Claims he has an urgent message for the Outlander who defeated Regalla.
So, state it.
It's for her alone.
from an interested party.
I'm gonna need some privacy.
Clear the room. Put him with the rest of Regalla's soldiers.
I'll see you back at base.
You saved the tribe. Let me help you with your mission.
No. With Regalla gone, you have a chance to build the future you dreamed of. So get to your task.
Then at least allow me to give you this. Armor for the battle ahead. May it keep you safe.
Thank you.
Do you have any idea what you've just done?
Oh, it's a pleasure to see you too, Silence.
Congratulations on your victory. You saved the Tenakth for a few weeks. Unfortunately, you've doomed the entire planet as well.
Wrong. I don't need a Tenakth army to defeat the Zeniths.
Oh, Aloy. Have you learned nothing about the enemy we're up against?
More than you, hiding whatever hole you found. My idea is just better than anything you ever came up with.
Go on.
No, not here. We're doing this my way. Face to face, and with the weapon you've developed.
And why would I agree to that?
Because I'm your only way of beating the Zeniths, and getting the copy of Apollo that's on their ship. So meet me at my base. Mountains west of Plainsong. Time to submit to the inevitable silence and follow the person who actually knows what she's doing. Don't be late.
Okay,
Tilda,
so...
you there? I did it. Silence is on board. So head to my base.
Impressive. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Now that I can fly, I might want to see what else I can do before I head back.
Yeah. So, now that you have the power of flight, you can complete a lot of the side quests that we have that are left open. Apparently you can't just run across that. Hi, Battle Grandma. Oh, and Battleground Kid.
So, Aloy, you've added yet another deed to your name, and I'm guessing by the look in your eyes that you're not done yet.
Not quite.
Is there anything we can do? We owe you that much.
After everything you've been through, you're one of the best people to support Hekarro's bid for peace. Not just between the clans, but with the Carja too.
Then I will. You have my word.
And until my last breath, I'll make sure the tribe remembers all that you've done for us.
Okay. That's cool. Hi. Oh yay, there's some more of our friends. Hi.
And so the Wings of the Ten found us when things were at their direst.
I'm not some legend come to life, Jataka.
That may be, but we will always be in your debt.
Hello.
Aloy, never doubted you knew how to make an entrance, but that, ooh, that was something else.
Didn't think I'd find you here.
You know, I just thought a battle that'll be sung about for generations wouldn't sound as epic if the Desert Commander were missing. I would not have shown Regalla mercy. But who might argue with the Champion Killer?
Oh hey, it's this asshole. I'm not gonna want to talk to that asshole.
To the Wings of the Ten. We've racked up a lot of deeds.
Regalla's defeat was the only outcome
An
that
honor, could be permitted.
Okay. We are not going to return to the base.
Strike true with
We're going to save.
Be guided by the 10.
Okay. Alright, we're going to end the episode here. Thank y'all for watching. I will see you next time.